Coach, difficult game today. Things were not going for you from the start. So what is your assessment?
Bear in mind that's our first game of our season. Performance-wise, certainly first half I thought we were very good. I thought we had a lot of chances, we just didn't convert. I think their goal, pretty much against the run of play, which is a bit of a deflection that runs in behind Raul. He finishes well, but I think it's the only chance of the first half that they had, and that's the quality of this level. You give an opponent one chance, they can take it. So, and second half we come out and give it a good go, and I think the second goal's kind of killed us a little bit, made it very difficult to get back into the game. But overall, yeah, disappointed with the result, but not disappointed with the performance, bearing in mind that is our first game of the year.
We'll take a show of hands for questions here.
Starting the season with the Champions League, was it the worst possible scenario for you, or did you need some playing time before the Champions League season actually got underway? Because that is a different case in Europe.
It's a different case in Asia as well. They've played 4 or 5 league games before the window broke. So we obviously tried to use the Durang Cup, but we haven't played a competitive game since Mohun Bagan Super Giants. No, that's not an excuse, that's the reality of it. We don't have control of when our season starts. So we knew that this was always going to be a tough and challenging opening game, but we've done as much to prepare for it as we could. And if we play like that, we'll get better as obviously the more games we play, which, looking now at ISL, when we move to North East away, the more games that we play, if we can perform and play the way we did certainly first half and just convert and finish the chances when they present themselves, that's going to be the key for us now.
Next question, yeah.
So throughout the game, Mumbai City FC was dominating, I would say. Good balance of play and some good chances as well. Ideally, you would expect Diaz and Shanti to score those. Do you think it was pressure or something else that they weren't able to finish those off?
No, I don't think it's pressure. I just think it's, again, lack of games leading into this in terms of competitiveness. That sharpness, as you see, even last year in our ISL campaign, it took us maybe 4 games to find our stride. I'm not saying that's the case this time, but other nights, other games, those guys score those goals, and we don't get caught with 2 opportunities on our goal. So, look, overall, like I said, I'm disappointed with the result, but when I look back and from what I've seen on the pitch, I'm not so much disappointed with the performance. When you consider, again, in Pune, not the Mumbai Football Arena, first game of the season, and it being Champions League rather than our league itself.
Next question. We'll take a show of hands. Okay.
Coach Rohan from Times of India. You spoke on Match Eve, about the difference. Last year they played all your group matches, in Riyadh, and you all obviously looking forward to, that home factor. You had some rally support, but I guess it's fair to ask you, would you hope to see some more, fans? I mean, who could have possibly given you a lift when things were a bit tough today?
Yeah, I'll go back to your comment a moment ago. I thought we had good control of the majority of the game, but that sometimes doesn't give you the results that you'd like. Now, of course, we would like more fans. We would. We certainly get that. We get more when we're in Mumbai, but coming to Pune, the club made as much effort as they could, and I know fans made a very big effort to get here, and for the 1,600, I think it was, that made the effort and got here. They were loud and we heard them. But yeah, if we can get more here, of course we will as a club. We want to grow our fan base, and what I see last year from game number 1 through to the end of the season when we lifted the shield, there was a big influx and big increase in that fan base and that support, which again now we'll turn our attention and hopefully take back to the MFA for our ISL games.
Coach, in the second half particularly, it was raining much more, and you were trailing at that point in time as well. Did the conditions make it a little difficult? Was it a little heavier on the ball?
I think my shirt went see-through, so I apologise for that and anyone in here because of the rain. Look, the pitch, it's rained here heavily for the last 3-4 days. So we walked on the pitch yesterday, it was very heavy, it was very soft underneath. Again, the rain obviously doesn't help that, it does slow the game down a little bit, but again, it's not an excuse we're going to make. We created enough opportunities and chances on the goal. It's now about making sure we finish off what was some very good moves.
Coach, you had Alpha on the bench, and I believe we hadn't got a proper training after coming today.
when the score was 1-0 and if it had been 1-0 till 85 minutes, where would you have been tempted to get him on the pitch maybe?
Yeah, there's always a temptation. Al-Kayati arrived with us at 2:00 this afternoon, so he hasn't played competitively since the end of last season. So you always want to put those players on, because again, if it's 1-0, which it wasn't, it was 2 at the time. So for me, there was no point in taking that risk. He is a player that's going to be very important to us, but same as any of our players, we need to make sure that we get the work into him to allow him to perform to the levels we know he can, and not just do that for one game, but do that consistently. It's about long term for us. It's the season, as well as tonight. So we took the decision to not use him because I didn't think there was a need. The risk far outweighed the reward. But he will now travel back with the team. He's got to know his teammates. He'll spend the next 5 days with us, and we'll work very hard, and he will work very hard to integrate in the way that we do things as we move forward.
Coach.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Coach.
Hey.
Do you think the smaller moments in the game made the bigger difference? And as far as our chances go, as far as Mumbai City's chances go, I think not taking these chances or probably falling short of luck would have acted more had you got some match practice, or is that something you consider okay?
No, I think the small things in these types of games. We said this level of football is the highest level in Asia. So those small things make a big difference. You take those chances, whether it be Chante's one in the first 5 minutes where he just goes it wide of the post, or whether it's Bipin's one before half time where he gets the cut back from those chances on top of many others. They do change the outlook of the game. You go one up, of course, the opposition have to come and find ways to break through, and it opens the game up for us. So that wasn't the case, but again, if we can perform in that way, we'll get faster, we'll get sharper. But if we can show that performance now and build on that over the next couple of games, that will put us in a very good place, certainly in our league.
Next question.
Coach, you mentioned, of course, that this is a different level to, of course, ISL. What was perhaps going well for Nassaji today? I mean, the way you look at it, what was working for them?
I don't know. I watched it back. I was very much just looking at us and where we could exploit them. And I felt we did that, especially in wide areas. I thought we created several opportunities in wide areas, and we got the ball into good areas where we usually, not only create but we finish. Tonight wasn't there. We didn't finish those moves as we didn't finish them like we would normally. So that's again, my focus is making sure we tidy ourselves up, and we're prepared now for what will be our next Champions League game away in Uzbekistan.
Coach, defense, you spoke of the satisfaction from the performance overall, but in terms of the challenges defensively, did they give you something to think about? Was that one of the main hurdles to try and kind of find solutions to the defensive organisation?
Yeah, I think the first half, they're a team. It's a new team, so it's not the team from last year. So I know there's been probably comparisons made to the team that finished in 13th. It's a very different team this year. New coach, a lot of new players, good players. And with good players come good experiences, and they set themselves up extremely well. Being away from home especially. But again, if we hadn't have created anything, I'd be far more concerned. And first half, I don't know how we've gone in at half time 1-0 down. I really don't. I've been involved in many games before, and I was a little bit frustrated at half time to go in at 1-0 down. So, second half, especially when they get the second goal, they obviously go back to a back five, go to a midfield four. It does make things more difficult because they can sit on a lead. But again, even when they did that, we still found opportunities and ways through. I think Diaz had a good opportunity at the end. I think there was a cross where Chante, if he'd have been 2 inches taller, may have headed it into the back of the net, and they're just two off the top of my head. So, however teams set up against us, whether it's the first half with a 4 and the experience they have, or it's a 5 where they sit deep, we've now got different ways that we can create. It's just about finishing those moves.
Coach, right at the end of the match, you were standing on the pitch for a very long time, at least from the same position, no movement. Just penny for your thoughts, what was going on at that point in time?
During the game or at the end?
Right at the end, when the team was cooling down and you were standing right there.
Yeah, I just stand to make sure that we've got a bench of 12 players, 10 of which we've got 4 that haven't made the squad tonight. So they come down and they work, because we need to keep them on the same training cycle as the others as we now prepare for our league. So it's just staying out there. Again, they're as important as the players that have just played. So rather than me just disappear into the change rooms, it's about staying out there and making sure, or staying with them while they do that work. Because again, it's not nice work, they have to run. So again, it's the same. We do that. I do that in the ISL as well as this, regardless.
Yes.
So this your next game against Northeast is not far away. So do you think this result will have any impact on players' mentality before you go into that game?
No, I don't think so. I think we have 5 days now. They've got 2 days off, and we'll travel back to Mumbai this evening. They'll rest tomorrow, and then some of them will train the day after. And then we have 3 days to get ready for Northeast. So we'll train for 2 days and then travel. But no, if anything, when we go back through the game, we'll pick out the bits that, like I said, for the first game in nearly a month for us, or 3 or 4 weeks, we'll pick out the good parts and we'll tidy up the other areas where we feel there's a need. But overall, if we can perform like that, certainly in the ISL, we'll put ourselves in a very strong position in the majority of the games we play.
Coach, looking at the situation, you had a very good outing today, especially in the attacking third, but it was the defensive third where you made some of the mistakes. But what are the positives you will take going into the ISL season, especially knowing the fact that you will face teams with lesser caliber as compared to the Champions League, whereas you will also have teams like Alibal from the Champions League as well. So what are the big positives that you will take from this league?
I think it's the players showing a very clear understanding of what we do and how we do it, certainly tonight. And not only have they done that, but they've done it against quality opposition. And of course, we're well set up and made it very difficult. But they've showed a very clear understanding of that. And then when we go into the league, it's now about our focus quickly shifts, and it's shifted already to Northeast, and making sure that we rest and recover these players to get them, as many of them, as fresh and as fit as we can. Because again, we know we can't play 5 foreigners, where you can only play 4. So we have a decision to make there. But otherwise, no, I think it's just now getting ready for Northeast.
Any further questions? Okay, if there are no questions, we'll wrap up this part of the press conference. Thank you, Coach, for joining us.
Thank you.
And hard luck today and all the best for the upcoming games.
Thank you very much.